Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, Insecure Season 5, Episode 6, entitled Tired, okay? I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around. I have all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. We pick up right where we left off. Issa seeing Lawrence and Condola. She approaches them both and just wants to know, can we just pretend like this isn't weird? There's a sigh of relief from Lawrence and Condola. Issa compliments how beautiful the baby is and even gets permission to hold the baby. While basking in the beauty of the little boy, it's interrupted by Issa throwing the baby, screaming, "F them kids," and chest kicking Condola into hospital laundry. She laughs with pure satisfaction in the thought. And of course, it's all a part of her imagination. Later that night, she views Lawrence's Instagram page and is kind of intrigued that he's moved back. As Issa makes love to Nate, she's asking him, does he love it? And does he love other things? Trying to implement if he loves her. But it's a no from Nate. He says, no, I love this. And it's a very awkward love-making scene. Nate tries to create small talk about a coyote being domesticated, but there's strange silence. Nate handles some clients at the barbershop, but they belong to Suge. Suge is always late, and the other co-workers co-sign. They're sick of it, but Arik thinks that, he's late and he may not help out, but he brings celebrities to the business. Sometimes he gets big names, and that brings more money. Suge's customer is so upset and has been waiting so long, he doesn't care who cuts his hair next. And Nate volunteers to help. Issa makes a stop back at the hospital to bring some food for Molly's family. Curtis has yet to arrive, but him and Kim are parking the car as they speak. Molly calls for an update on her mom, but the status is still the same. Molly is having a hard time just balancing everything concerning her work conference and feels guilty for not physically being present at the hospital. Koya and Issa are flattered to see in the LA magazine that they've put the Black Art Walk in the calendar of events. Now it's time to meet with the creators behind the Anatomy Collective. Nothing But Water is interested in making them the face of their brand. They've heard of the block doing events, but didn't hear good things. It was some event that they did for Crenshaw during the museum show, and that information makes them reconsider when it comes to working with such a company. Molly is still thinking of her mom, but disguises her attention in getting a camera ready for a selfie. The older colleagues want to play a game, First Impressions. What did BJ think of Molly when he first met her? He's so shy by the question, he can't say anything else. But the other co-workers say that they didn't like Molly at first. They love her now, but when she first arrived, she wasn't too tolerable. They have more fun conversation and start to indulge in shots, and they push forward into the next morning. Molly wakes up to her alarm, hung over with Skittles in the bed, liquor bottles, and a watch. When she goes downstairs to get something to help her with her hangover, she's shocked to see everybody else awake and Adam at the table. They even tell her to come over and also calling her a party animal. Molly claims that she found a watch in the hallway and if anyone knows who it belongs to. Torian says that it belongs to him, but nothing happened. It just was from him helping her to her room after such a crazy night. But Molly draws a blank. She can't remember, and one of her co-workers is happy to show her a video of exactly what happened. Molly is very embarrassed, not remembering a thing. Issa shows up to speak with Crenshaw, and he argues that she took the bag instead of standing up for his art. Issa is confused because he came to her wanting to break through with an opportunity, and she worked hard to make sure that he got that chance. Her back was against the wall when trying to please everyone, but she made some mistakes. He wants her to just understand her mistakes. Instead of coming to him and just apologizing, she went to his DMs with some negative energy. They don't have anything else to discuss, really. They were in the trenches together, and he feels that she derailed from the real things. Later on in the day at the shop, everyone gathers to pay their booth rent, but Suge is nowhere to be in sight. Again, he eventually arrives but says that Nate will pay his rent since he's responsible for taking his clients. Nate says that he took his clients because he was only trying to help out, and he's constantly late. Everybody agrees that they're not attacking Suge. They're just saying, hey, pitch in a little bit more and just make sure you clean your station. Suge says that he brings all of the celebs to the shop and he can go solo and take all his celebrity clients with him. He even scheduled for Wu-Tang Clan to come here and get a haircut, but after their behavior, maybe not. They should worry about him less and worry about Nate's bipolar self. Everyone helps to diffuse the situation and the hot temperament because a customer has arrived. As Molly and Torian begin a presentation, Molly is distracted by a text from family. She's so distracted that he has to take over, and the execs notice. Torian speaks with Molly and wants to know what is up. It's not likely that he outshines her. Molly lets him know that her mom had a stroke, and she's been distracted from it all. He can't believe she's been concealing such a detail for a long period of time. He even shares that the year before, he had a hard time because his older brother was going through cancer treatments. Work can't matter more than real life, and she should communicate if she needs help. Being sarcastic, he tells her that, I didn't even know you had a family, Molly. I just thought it was just you and a cat. Issa has another vision that Condola shows up thanking her for giving up, that Lawrence moved back just for her, and on top of that, she flashes a wedding ring. It's exaggerated that Lauren makes $1 billion a month, and his penis grew 2 more inches. Before Condola leaves, now she has the laughter of pure satisfaction and drop kicks Issa into the trash. It's all a part of Issa's imagination. And hearing the repeat of Condola's voice saying that she needs to accept all of her decisions. Molly gets a call from Curtis and he has great news. Their mother has regained consciousness. She can't speak yet, but she knows what's going on around her. And she may be able to go home tomorrow. She's excited and tells her mother that she's beautiful and will talk to her tomorrow. Dorian stops by because he wants to make sure Molly gets a swag bag from the firm. When she answers the door, she hugs him passionately, telling him that she's excited that her mom is doing much better and has regained consciousness. The hug then lingers into passion, but they ignore it. Issa and Nate meet for dinner later, and their minds are both somewhere else. Small talk begins about how Issa saw the wolf that was domesticated, and Nate vents about the shop, that everybody at the shop doesn't understand him, and maybe LA just maybe isn't a good fit for him. Issa is pissed by the comment, and she says, well, I said I love you, and we still haven't discussed it. She tells him that he constantly avoids issues, but Nate, on the other hand, shines light on how Issa is inconsistent. One moment, she's crying in his mouth. Another moment, she wants to take it slow, then be committed, and now she loves him. He flat out asked her, what do you want from me? You're all over the place. There's a brief moment of silence, and Issa says that she just wants to drop it. And then they eat dinner. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday. I posted a survey not too long ago before the break about what you guys were planning on doing. The choices were rest, I'm staying at home. The second one, I'm joining friends and family. And lastly, I'm traveling to somewhere special. And the majority of you with 69% said I'm joining friends and family. I can guess that from this pandemic, many of you did not see your family last year, and you said, you know what, I'm gonna see my friends and family. I haven't seen you guys in a while, so that's what I'm gonna do. I actually did a lot of things. I rested, I completed a lot of projects that I was working on, had some meetings, dealing with career and all this other stuff. So by the time I got back, I was exhausted, okay? And I was just thinking, oh my goodness, I need to do the Insecure review, but I need to take care of myself first, and I need to get adequate rest. So I'm back now. So let's get back to the review. I did post a question about Insecure. I wanted to see how you all were feeling, okay? Have you liked the final season of Insecure so far? The choices were the series is going well so far. The second one, the series isn't giving what it's supposed to give. And lastly, the additional storylines aren't necessary. And 58% of you, the majority of you, said this series isn't giving what it's supposed to give. So let's talk about it. In the development of this show, you have to understand that the writers have a craft in developing their characters and closing storylines, or at least giving the audience an idea of what the characters will do in the future. Okay, in real life, think about it. Okay, you have situations that happen and you still have to continue with everyday life, right? You know, you get in a car wreck, it sucks, you wish that the world would just stop while you get yourself together, but you can't, right? If you're okay, that you have to shop for another car, you have to, talk with the insurance company, but you still go to work, you still continue other activities that you have going on, you still have your personal endeavors, you still have things going on while you're dealing with certain situations in life. With the writing of this show, this last season is frustrating for a lot of people because a lot of people have certain storylines in their mind that they want to just hurry up and get answered, okay? The situation between Issa, Nate, and Lawrence and her feelings about that, right? Molly regrouping herself and her thoughts, but then we have the additional storyline of her dating again. This is life. Molly understanding and learning this trauma that's happened with her mom, but she's still making that decision to date and work-life balance. All of those things have fluid understanding when it comes to this show. And on top of that is the frustration that the episodes are only 30 minutes. It's like we need an hour, okay? But the show was allotted for a 30-minute comedic / drama slot, okay? And the writers are doing what they can in that amount of time for it to make sense. What they don't want to do is rush the writing and to hurry up and give, quote unquote, what the audience wants them to do. Because then it becomes this soap opera-esque, almost cheesy delivery when communicating what's going to go on with these characters. Now, judging from the preview, a lot of things will be discussed when it comes to the personal lives of all of the characters. And of course, with that woman powwow, they're going to talk about a lot of things, okay, and discuss a lot of things in that block of time of 30 minutes. It's going to give us a lot of the dialogue that we're missing. There isn't that in-depth monologue that's happening so far, but from the writing, we can tell that they're taking it in that direction. Okay, so I hope you guys understand that. And I hope you guys don't give up on the show. And a lot of people are frustrated because we need to answer this. But it makes sense to show how Lawrence's life has changed, how Issa's life has changed, how Nate's life has changed. You have to take those slow because if you rush it, there's going to be frustration with that. And why are we getting to that conclusion so quickly? I gave an estimate for how this show will end, that it will be an ending that's not exactly holding hands and skipping down the road type of ending. This writing is it's realistic, okay? It has its silver linings of things shifting and changing, but every writer is different. You can't judge it like a Tyler Perry series, okay? Or me watching Game of Thrones. I can't judge it based upon a cinematic perspective because all of these shows are different. Let's move on with Molly. She's learning work-life balance. And as we saw in this episode, there is a tweak with Torian, right? It's fair to say that Torian probably always had an interest in Molly, but from her demeanor and actions and attitudes at work, swayed him away from getting to know her. That is something that I discussed last season, that sometimes we think everybody else has the problem. Everybody else's situation. I can't find the right person. I can't this, I can't that. But self-reflection is more important. When Molly had those honest moments with herself, from looking at the past dating profile that she was on, and she was able to analyze, man, did I behave like that? Man, did I say those things? Did I act like that? In this episode, her co-workers say, man, we couldn't barely tolerate you when you came to the firm. You were just so uppity and you didn't want to really talk and you weren't really a team player. And Molly is learning that about herself. She's learning those truths about herself. Now let's talk about Torian, okay? Torian had a lot going on personally as well. He's like, the year before that, my brother, he was dealing with those cancer treatments and it really messed me up. That could explain a lot of his attitude at work, okay? But some people, when they come to work, they're just work and work only. They're straight to it. If it comes to personal things, I'm talking to you at the happy hour, or maybe when we have a break. But all day, I'm work and I'm focused on work, okay? So that could have been perceived in him being a butthole, okay? But let's talk about Torian and what he has to offer Molly. Remember all of those things that Molly wrote in that profile, that you have this amount of degrees, no kids, no this, no that. Torian has everything on her list. Let's just be honest. He has education. He doesn't have any kids, right? He's goal-oriented. He loves to travel, all of this. But their behaviors, right, made each other ping each other away and not get to know one another. With that being said, I think the writing was trying to communicate that sometimes we are in the way of our true destinies based upon decisions, which has been the key word of this episode, decisions that we make, which leads into Issa. Let's talk about Issa and Nate. We can all agree, or pretty much at least, understand one another when it comes to maybe concluding that Nate is the default guy, right? He's the rebound guy. They truly love and care for one another, and it's no doubt that they have love for one another. But it seems as if they've met under certain circumstances. You can meet somebody and really care for someone, and you're there for a moment in time in each other's lives for a reason. It could be possible that Nate, got involved with Issa because it was a moment where they both needed each other. Nate inspired her to be an entrepreneur and to pursue her dreams. She inspired him to communicate a little bit more and to be a little bit more transparent. So they came into each other's lives for a reason. If you watch my reviews about Ready to Love, which is a reality dating show, I talk about how certain people are in certain lives for a season and you don't know why. So you shouldn't put pressures on everybody that you meet, because that may be a potential husband, boyfriend, or just a friend or somebody that you just vibe with when it comes to talking about sports or, places you like to shop. I mean, there's just no way of knowing why somebody has come into your life. And I think it's going to be a painful moment that Issa and Nate realized that they do love each other, but they came into each other's lives for a reason. They both inspired each other to be better people. Hence, that is the love that they share. Now, Nate was fair to say that, hey, I want to say I love you back, but you're inconsistent. You're here, you're there, which is a legitimate argument. But at the same time, he considered moving up and at him so easily. Clearly, that's a different type of love, which confirms my point, okay? Let's talk about the barbershop issues with Nate and his staff members. This goes towards anything with career. Now, Nate was really trying to be a good employee by saying, hey, we have customers, regardless as if this is your customer or my customer. If they're upset and they leave that you're late, that's a bad, shining light on our company as a whole. So I get it. There's in Black culture this unspoken, etiquette that you're not supposed to steal anybody else's customers. But, things evolve and change. Is it fair to say now that if you're not responsible for your customer, that you open the window to say, hey, this customer is up for grabs because you're not taking care of that customer? That's something that can be a discussion all within itself. If you have this inconsistency like Suge, coming in late and kind of gloating at the fact that you bring celebrity customers, which is good for business, but eventually the word will get out, whether they're a celebrity or not, that you're no good for business. You're always late. You don't care. You're not respecting my time. Those are types of behaviors will eventually catch up with you. So it's foreshadowing that Suge has this behavior and he does all of this and he takes for granted, that he has a good place to cut hair. And if he did go solo, it's highly likely that he would not have a good, successful run because he's late and he's inconsistent and he's not responsible. Just because you're bringing in those customers doesn't mean that you're a responsible person when it comes to business. So business-wise, yes, Nate wanted to do a certain thing, and his coworkers was just like, he's late, but when it comes to business, Suge was, of course, irresponsible. It's a bad look across the board. And if he wanted to go solo, highly likely that wouldn't work either, which leads into the next person, Crenshaw. Let's talk about him. He's telling Issa that, hey, you could have DM'd me and you could have just said, I'm sorry, and all these expectations. But he went public and saying that all skin folk ain't kinfolk, and publicly made, an announcement about the block and Issa and nothing but water. He made that public, but he wanted her to apologize. With his behavior, he has a point in his beliefs and his understandings, but his behavior is foreshadowing that he might not have a good run because he did not handle the situation that he was displeased with professionally. This is what this episode is trying to show also with Suge and Crenshaw. That you do have your emotions, you do have things that you believe in, but there's a way, okay, to present it, to talk about it, to discuss it, because the goal is to have future clients and customers in the future. How are we going to handle this? Okay. Let's also talk about Lawrence. Lawrence has moved back. Issa is viewing that he's moved back. So he's made a decision in regards to the child to make things better instead of flying back and forth, which was probably very difficult because with his career, okay, he's tried to do the best that he can to just make it better, just being there, the flying back and forth. What is he gonna do? And he's been there the whole time. And Issa being unaware of it, of course, that was none of her business. But it just goes to show that he's making those decisions based upon fatherhood. Okay, so let's talk about what I've discussed this entire season about Issa and Lawrence. And we finally got to see that with Condola when she had the vision, and Condola's just like, oh, you made it so easy. He moved back. He's with me. We're taking care of the baby. Be happy with the decisions that you made. In the reviews, I've been saying this, that the writing is showing us the transparency of true love. When it comes to true love, you accept everything that's in somebody's life. Whether it's a handicap, debt, a child, something health-wise, you accept that about that person. And accepting that and those issues are things that you eventually have to cope and deal with because that's somebody that you're with. Okay? If you're with somebody that's in a wheelchair, everything that you do in the future together, you both have to consider that my mate is handicapped. We have to consider if we go somewhere, is that place wheelchair accessible, etc. Those are the things that you're accepting because you know that that's a part of who they are. That is worth it when you're truly in love and you see that as not a burden. You see that as just a piece of them. So Issa is having these thoughts of, there's Condola and there's this baby. But do I love Lawrence more than that situation of dealing with the baby mama and all of that? Will I accept that he has a child, and then also I'm going to have to deal with the constant reminder of Condola? That is the crescendo and the big question mark of what she will do. And it's that writing saying, Issa, deal with your decisions. Nate, deal with your decisions. You're changing your mind all the time. Condola, deal with your decisions. Crenshaw, deal with your decisions. Everybody's like, you made the decisions, and what are you going to do about it? Okay? And that has been the up and down with the character. And so many people are so judgmental about the situation, but it's just like, what would you do? You have to have those moments. And Issa probably unintentionally thought, Nate's my best bet. He's great. He's wonderful. And I love him. And maybe I should just move on. But her heart is saying something else. So we're going to see that with these episodes to come. I really want y'all to stick it out and view this episode and view the rest of the season differently. Now that I've said that, have you viewed the writing differently? Let me know what you think. Subscribe, like this video, share this channel with everybody else. Make sure that you check out the shows in the pinned comment below and binge watch those if you're bored and you don't have anything to do. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name, officialbunne_E, so you don't miss the sneak peeks about what's coming up up next. In the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.